Okay, the session has begun. So, Melody Abaumi, welcome to today's biology class. So, before we go on, I would like to ask one of you to remind us of our last topic. What's the topic we did last week, Friday, to be precise? Abaumi, Melody, you can unmute your mic. And if eventually you are in a place where you cannot speak freely, you can just drop a message in the chat box. So, what was our last topic? Abaumi and Melody, can you hear me?
Reproduction.
Okay, reproduction. Thank you for that. So, what part of reproduction did we talk about? We discussed a specific aspect of reproduction. What aspect is that? What aspect of reproduction did we talk about in our last class? No, it's not irritability.
The type of reproduction.
Yes, the types of reproduction. Thank you for that. So, based on what we did last week, types of reproduction, do you have any question on it? Do you have any questions on types of reproduction before I begin asking questions on it? Any question on types of reproduction before I move on to asking questions about
No,
the
ma'am.
topic? All right, good. So, how many types of reproduction do we have? How many types of reproduction do we have? How many types of reproduction do we have? About me and
Two.
Melody, can you hear me? Okay, we have two types of reproduction. Can you mention it?
Sexual and asexual reproduction.
Sexual and asexual reproduction. Thank you so much. So, which one involves one parent plant? Which type of reproduction involves
Asexual
one parent plant?
reproduction.
Asexual reproduction, okay? Which one involves the fusion of gametes?
Asexual.
No, fusion of gametes. Of two gametes, sorry. Yes, two gametes. Which one involves fusion of two gametes or fusion of gametes?
Sexual reproduction.
Sexual reproduction, okay? Which one involves two parents? Two parents.
Sexual reproduction.
Yes, sexual reproduction, that's correct. So how many types of asexual reproduction do we have? Can you mention the types of asexual reproduction that you know? The types of asexual reproduction that you know, can you mention it?
Fusion. Budding.
Yes,
Spore
but
formation.
yes,
Fragmentation. And
yes.
vegetative propagation.
Okay, that is correct. Thank you so much for that. Now, this I want to mention an example of an organism, and I want you to tell me the type of reproduction it undergoes. Hydra. What kind of reproduction does Hydra undergo? Is it sexual reproduction or asexual
Body.
reproduction?
Okay.
Okay, yes,
Asexual
but
reproduction.
asexual reproduction. What type of asexual reproduction? Like you mentioned, budding. That's correct. How about Spirogyra? Spirogyra. What type of reproduction what does
Asexual.
Phyodria undergo? Yes, asexual. What type of asexual reproduction does he undergo?
Asexual reproduction.
Yes, what type of asexual reproduction does it undergo?
Fragmentation.
Fragmentation, that is correct. Okay. Talking about vegetative propagation, what does vegetative propagation mean? What does vegetative propagation mean?
Um,
What?
is
What
the
does
use of
vegetative propagation? Okay.
plants vegetative parts to produce
Yes, it's the use of
nutrients.
vegetative plant. Yes, it makes use of vegetative plant of part of plants. Yes, you're correct. So can you mention examples of some of these vegetative parts of plants?
The leaves, stem, and the root.
The leaf, stems, and roots. That is correct. Okay. All right, let's go on to what we have for today. Give me a moment while I share my screen. Okay. Give me a moment. I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, Melody, I can see you're the only one still here. Can you see my screen? You can drop an emoji if you can see my screen. Melody, please drop an emoji if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So going on to what we have for today. Our topic for today is nutrition. And we're talking about nutrition. We're talking about our specific topic is going to be types of nutrition. And the types of nutrition we are talking about, that is plant and animal nutrition. But before we go on, what is nutrition itself? Nutrition is the process by which an organism assimilates food and uses it for growth and maintenance of life. We use it for growth and development. Plants use it for growth and development, obviously. Animals also need food for growth and development. The food we eat, we get nutrients from them. So it is nutrition is can be defined as a process by which an organism gets nutrients for growth and maintenance of life. Talking about nutrients, what is the meaning of nutrients? Welcome back to class, Obawumi. All right, so when we're talking about nutrients, what is nutrient or what are nutrients? Nutrients are a source of nourishment that can be metabolized by an organism to give energy, to build tissue, and to maintain life. We'll get to the types of nutrients, but for now, let's focus on the types of nutrition that we have. We have two types of nutrition. There are two types of nutrition. The first type, we have the autotrophic nutrition, which is the plant nutrition, and we have heterotrophic nutrition, which is animal nutrition. Talking about autotrophic nutrition, what does it mean? It is a type of nutrition in which organisms make their own food, and autotrophic nutrition can be divided into two. We have photosynthesis and we have chemosynthesis. We have photosynthesis and we have chemosynthesis. So talking about autotrophic nutrition, most plants get their nutrients via photosynthesis. So we can call them photoautotrophs. Those that get their food via chemosynthesis, they are called chemotrophs. Now, what is photosynthesis? You must have heard about photosynthesis even from your basic science when you were in junior secondary school. Photosynthesis is just simply the process by which plants use atmospheric carbon dioxide, CO2, soil nutrients, and also water and sunlight as a source of energy to produce their own food. Whereas in chemosynthesis, they use atmospheric carbon dioxide also, and energy that comes from the breakdown of inorganic substance. That is where the chemicals come from to make their food. Examples of for the photoautotroph, we have green plants. Example of chemotrophs, we have nitrobacter, we have nitrosomonas, we have sulfur bacteria. Now the sulfur bacteria, now the chemical it makes use of to make its own food is sulfur. For the nitrobacter and nitrosomonas, they make use of nitrogen in the process of production of their own. That is the chemical they use. For iron bacteria, they use iron in the process of making their own food. Now, we also have some plants that they are not autotrophs, they are not phototrophs and they are not chemotrophs. These plants are called parasitic plants. For example, we have parasitic fly, we have carnivorous plants. For example, we have the Venus trap fly. We have the Venus trap fly. The Venus trap fly, for example, is an example of a carnivorous plant. The Venus trap fly, they feed by trapping other organisms. It can trap as big as a frog, an organism as big as a frog. It can trap it, get nutrients from it, and digest it. They're talking about the leaves. This is how a leaf anatomy look like. It has a phalicene mesophyll, spongy mesophyll, waxy cortical, and stomata. We talked about stomata and lentil cells. We've talked about stomata and lentil cells when we talked about supporting tissues in plant and animals. I don't know if one of you attended the class. Now, talking about photosynthesis, we have two types of photosynthesis. We have photosynthesis that occurs in the light stage, and we have photosynthesis that occurs in the dark stage. Now, in the light stage, light energy splits water via a process called photolysis, and it releases oxygen and creates ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and NADPH. Then in the dark stage, also called the light independent stage, which means it occurs in the absence of light independent. This one occurs in the stroma of the plant, and it makes use of ATP and carbon dioxide, CO2, to produce glucose. Okay, we'll get to nutrients. Talking about animal nutrition, the animal nutrition can mostly be referred to as heterotrophic nutrition. It is a process by which animals feed. Now, in heterotrophic nutrition, how do we define heterotrophic nutrition? If you're following, please drop an emoji. Golden, you're welcome to class. Thank you, Golden. Melody and Obawumi, are you there? Please drop an emoji. Thank you, Melody. Obawumi, can you hear us? Are you still with us? Is Obawumi still with us? Please drop an emoji if you are still with us, Obawumi. Okay, I'm guessing Obawumi is not here with us. Okay. So talking about heterotrophic nutrition, what does it mean? It is a type of nutrition in which organisms depend on other organisms for their food. The other organisms they depend on can be plants, and it might even be other animals. So based on this, we can also classify organisms that belong to heterotrophic nutrition. We can classify them as 1, holozoid feeders, 2, parasitic feeders, 3, saprophytic feeders, and 4, symbiotic feeders or mutualistic feeders. When we talk about holozoid feeders, these are organisms that undergo holozoic mode of nutrition. In these organisms, they ingest organic substance, and this organic substance is digested and absorbed into their body. While the ones that undergo parasitic nutrition, they live on or inside other organisms and obtain their food from them. And the reason why they are called parasites. Now, there are two types of parasites. We have endoparasite and ectoparasite. Why are they called parasites? They are called parasites because as they are feeding on other organisms, they are causing damage to them. The other organism they are feeding on is called hosts. So that host that they are feeding on, that host will be missing nutrients and getting lean, while they will be getting robust. That is, then we now divide them into two types of parasites: endoparasites and ectoparasites. Now, ectoparasites, from the word ecto, it means they are outside. These are parasites that live outside their host. For example, ticks. The ticks that you find on the body of dogs, for example, they are blood-sucking ectoparasites. If a dog has a lot of ticks on the body, what will happen to that dog? No matter how much you feed that dog will not get fat. The dog will just be looking thin and sickly. Why? Because that tick that is present as an ectoparasite on the body of the dog is feeding on the nutrient that the dog is supposed to make use of to become robust. That tick as an ectoparasite is feeding on it. The second type of parasite that we have endoparasite. Endoparasites are parasites that live on the inside of their hosts. They live on the inside of organisms. Example, the worms, like the tapeworms, the roundworm, the liver flukes. They live on the inside of their organism, and they feed on the nutrient that the hosts are supposed to absorb and use. They feed on heat. Even dogs also have issues with worms. I don't know if you've ever seen a dog pass out worm before. That's an example of an endoparasite. So as that endoparasite, as a worm is living inside the body of the dog, which is the host, it feeds on the nutrient that the dog is supposed to make use of. And before you know it, you just realize that I'm feeding this dog a lot, but this dog is not getting fatter. What is going on? The dog can even get sick, in fact. The dog will get sick. Even we as human beings, we are advised to deworm at least once or twice a year. Why? Because now there are some food that we eat, especially people that eat out. Even if you don't eat out, as long as you are eating things like meat, red meat, it's possible the pods of those worms, they might have been released in the meat. For example, the cow that they kill in the market, do you know if that cow has roundworm disorder? If the cow has roundworm disorder, before you know it, that is why they say that we should boil our meat properly, especially pork meat. They say we should boil it properly, thoroughly, before you eat it, so that if eventually any of these worms are present, they will die because they cannot survive in the presence of high temperature. Another type of heterotrophic nutrition, we have saprophytic nutrition. The organisms that belong here, they are called saprophytes. These ones obtain their food from non-living organic matter, animals that have died. A rat dies, a lizard dies, an organism dies. They feed on it. Then we have the symbiotic or mutualistic feeders. This one, the process of their feeding is called symbiosis or mutualism. In this case now, two organisms, one is called the host, the other is called a symbiote. Now, the both of them, personally, I call their relationship scratch my back, I scratch your back. That is what I call their whole relationship. For example, the golden egrets and the bush cattle. The golden egrets will help to feed on the ticks that are normally present on the body of the bush cattle. The golden egret will be egret will be feeding on those ticks. You know, that tick is meant to be sucking blood out and being a parasite to the bush cattle. But because the egret is there, the egret is going to be feeding on those ticks. So it's killing the ticks, feeding on the ticks, and even providing protection to the bush cattle. And the bush cattle is providing food to the egret. How? The ticks that the egret is feeding on, that is the food. That is an example of a symbiotic relationship. That bush cattle is the host, and the egret is the symbiote. They are doing scratch my back. That's what I call it. Scratch my back, I scratch your back. You gain from me, I gain from you. That is the meaning. Then we have organisms that undergo digestion. Then we have how our food is digested. This is how food is digested in an amoeba. We talked about amoeba when we were talking about cell. Now, we have the stages of nutrition. What are the stages of nutrition? We have ingestion, where you take in food through your mouth, which is your buccal cavity. Then digestion, where the food is broken down into smaller pieces that the body is able to process. Then absorption, where digested food enters the intestine, is absorbed into the blood, and nutrient is given up. Assimilation is where your body absorbs all the nutrient that is embedded in the food that you have consumed. Then we have digestion. This is process of when undigested food, sorry, where undigested food is removed. Process whereby undigested food is removed. So now let's talk about nutrients. At the beginning of the class, when I talked about the meaning of nutrition, I talked about the meaning of nutrients also. Talking about the meaning of nutrients, let me remind us what nutrients means. Nutrients are a source of nourishment that can be broken down or metabolized by an organism to give off energy and to build tissue, building of body tissues. Now, types of nutrients. There are two types of nutrients. We have the micronutrients and the macronutrients. If you are still with us, please drop an emoji. If you are still with us, please drop an emoji. Okay, thank you, Golden. Thank you, Melody. Oh, Efosa, you're welcome to class. About me and Efosa, are you there? Drop an emoji if you're with us. Okay. I guess about me and Efosa are not okay. All right, so going on, we have two types of nutrients. We have the macronutrients and we have the micronutrients. The macronutrient, from the word macro, it means large. So from the word large, what does this mean? Macronutrients are nutrients that are needed in large quantities. They are the main organic substances that are found in food, and they are needed in large quantities. Example, we have carbon, we have hydrogen, we have oxygen, we have nitrogen, we have phosphorus, we have sulfur, we have potassium, we have calcium, we have chlorine, we have magnesium, we have sodium, etc. Why micronutrient? From the word micro, it means they are needed in very little quantity. You know, micro means little. So micro, it means these nutrients are needed in little quantities. And we can also call the micronutrients trace nutrient or minor nutrient because we just needed in very little amount. Example, we have iron, copper, manganese, zinc, iodine, boron, cobalt, fluorine. We have molybdenum and some other examples. So let's talk about the sources of some of these nutrients and their functions. Nitrogen, for example, for plants is found in the soil, and the function is it helps in the provision of amino acid proteins. Phosphorus is found as phosphate. So any substance that contains phosphate is rich in phosphorus. And phosphate is a component of ATP. What is the full meaning of ATP? I mentioned ATP the other time. Adenosine triphosphate. So it will give us, one of the nutrients it contains is phosphorus. Also phospholipid and nucleic acid. Potassium is found in ionic form, and its function is it regulates stomata opening in plants and enzyme activation in animals. Sorry, excuse me. Then we have magnesium. Magnesium is found in soil minerals, and it's part of a central part of chlorophyll molecules that is for plants. Now, deficiencies of minerals in human beings and even in plants, in animals and plants. You know, animals means human beings, higher animals and lower animals. So when there is a deficiency of some of these nutrients in the body, it can cause stunted growth in both human beings and in both plants and animals. For plants now, it can lead to a condition called chlorosis, where there will be yellowing of leaves. Then we have purple tint, which occurs as a result of lack of phosphorus, which cause purple leaves and poor root development. Okay. I wanted us to take 2 topics today. Ideally, I wanted us to take 2 topics today so that tomorrow we're going to do revision of what we've done so far this month, because tomorrow is going to be our last class. So I was thinking we'll be able to finish 2 topics today. Then tomorrow we'll do revision of everything we've done so far this month. And then I have some questions set up that I want to take you through, questions and answer that I want to take you through. But we are 9 minutes to the end of the class, so it's not a topic I can take in 9 minutes. And I'm sure you guys might have another class by 8 p.m. or 8:15. So I'm going to stop here for today. So I hope that tomorrow you can show up really early. If you show up really early, we'll be able to do that topic, do revision, and then answer some past questions. So I hope you can show up really early tomorrow. All right, so at this point, let me take the attendance. And you can start thinking of questions to ask. Okay, let me see those that are in class. Okay, we have Melody, Golden, Abaumi, and Efosa. Okay, let me take a look at the attendance. Okay. Abaumi, I got you present. Okay, Melody, I got you present too. Okay, Golden, I got you present too. You can unmute your mics now, please. Please unmute your mics. Efosa, is your name on the attendance, Efosa?
Yes, ma. Is that Praise Archibong?
It's Achibong. Efosa Achibong.
No, Praise
Right?
Archibong.
Praise Achibong. Oh, I found it. You're number 2 on the list, in fact. Okay, Praise Achibong. I got Praise Achibong. I got Obamumi. I got Melody. And I got Golden. Okay. All right. So I have you all on the attendance. Okay, so I have you all on the attendance. All right, so any questions? If you are in a place where you can't speak freely, you can just drop a message in the chat box. Anyone with questions before I ask my questions? Melody, do you have any question? Golden, any question? Obaumi and Efosa, do you have any question? Efosa, I just got your question. Osmoregulation. Okay, you have a question on osmoregulation. Osmoregulation is not part of what we've discussed, but now we're talking about osmoregulation. Okay. When we're talking about osmoregulation, we are talking about the process by which our body maintains water balance. Yes, water balance. Water balance and electrolyte is a process by which our body regulates water balance and electrolyte balance. And this is very important in homeostasis. We talked about homeostasis. I think that was the first or second topic we talked about this month. Now, the process of osmoregulation is largely dependent on a process called osmosis. We didn't do osmosis and diffusion. It depends. It's largely dependent on osmosis. And what is osmosis? It's a period whereby substances move from a region of lower concentration to a region of higher concentration through a semi-permeable membrane, unlike diffusion. So just know that osmoregulation is just simply a process whereby our body is able to balance, our body balances salt and water, or should I say water and electrolyte? Don't let me call it salt. Water and electrolyte. That is what osmoregulation is. Okay? Efos, are you there? Efosa, have I been able to answer your question? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Does anybody have any other question? Okay. Thank you. I got your chat. Thank you. Any other person with any other question? Okay. Okay, about me, you're asking questions from our last class. The types of asexual reproduction that we have. You can note it down. The types of asexual reproduction that we have vegetative propagation, we have fragmentation, we have spore formation, we have budding, and we have fission. Those are the types of asexual reproductions that we have. I explained all of this in our last class last week, Friday. So if peradventure you're finding it confusing about me, please go to check your dashboard and look for the video for last week, Friday. The date will be there. Let me check the date for last week, Friday. Last week, Friday's date is 22nd of May, May 22. So look for the video for biology that has May 22. Okay. So if you find it confusing, you can revisit the video, the recorded session, and you can you will get more insights. So thank you for the question. Any other question from anybody? Golden, Melody, any question? Okay, about me, you're welcome. Golden, Melody, any question? Okay, I guess Melody doesn't have a question. Golden, are you there? Golden, are you there? Okay, Golden too doesn't have any question. So if by adventure in the course of your reading or be watching this sessions, the recorded video, if you have any questions, you can note it. In our next class tomorrow, we're going to attend to it. Also, the assignment that was uploaded last week on your dashboard, I think only about 2 or 3 people attempted the assignment. I don't know why the rest of you couldn't attempt it, but I hope you are able to attempt the next one. I should have another one uploaded by tomorrow is our last session. Okay. So you won't be getting any assignment this week because tomorrow is our last session. All right. So in the absence of questions, I'm going to see you tomorrow by 7. Please endeavor to show up in time. Tomorrow I have a topic that I want to take you through. I want us to do a revision of what we've done so far this month. And I also want us to treat some past questions, okay? Some questions and answers, okay? So please endeavor to show up early tomorrow. So in the absence of questions, I'm going to see you tomorrow by 7. So do have a good evening. Bye.